Hey there guys, it's TheRamosOnline here, bringing you a link battle against Kobain. Links to his YouTube and his Twitch in the doobly-doo. Make sure you check him out. He's an awesome battler, a great friend, and he's like 7 different shades of awesome. So this is the first battle. I get to use Sorbet in a 6v6 and I actually lead with her. Only one of his 6 Pokemon would, resist her attacks, and that happened to be his lead. So I'm not sure if he predicted the Sorbet lead, but it was a good lead, because I'm now forced to switch, and even Fua, my physical wall, did not take that attack very well. He goes ahead and switches out into his Leviathan, which is his Dragalge, and I was going with the Cotton Guard, expecting him to want to try and get the quick and early KO on my physical wall. So, yeah, doesn't quite happen. I'm forced to switch out because I can't have Fua going down just yet, and I go into Setsuna. I guess Chris just forgot I had this thing because I'm completely immune to this thing's stabs. The only thing it can hit me with would be Scald, and I don't think he runs Scald on this. I think he runs Thunderbolt, or maybe he runs both, I'm not quite sure. I go for the Swords Dance. At this point, I still don't quite know what the hold item on this Redacanth is. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking Banded because the amount of damage it did to Fua, but I'm not 100% sure, and I'm also an idiot, and I leave Setsuna in on that Earthquake. I didn't actually know it had Earthquake, to be fair. I haven't faced many Redacanths. It makes sense for it to have Earthquake, but, I mean, he switched it in on Morwell. Maybe I should have predicted that. Now I go into Alice. Honestly, I just wanted to get my Mega Evolution off. I was quite confident she'd take any one hit, because I resist its main stab. I go for a low kick, and it doesn't do any damage because Redacanth is not that heavy despite being a rock type, so I might have to replace that with high jump kick. This is really my singles opponent. I have 2 different opponents, one for singles, one for doubles. So now I'm forced to switch out, but the fact he went for Earthquake tells me he is indeed Banded, and I'm just sitting there thinking, I am an idiot. I could have switched and saved Setsuna, but I didn't. So, early loss in Setsuna. Took a lot of damage on Alice as well, a lot of damage I didn't want her to take. He gets the switches into Kevin. He was basically forced to switch, so I went for another Swords Dance. I just realized I have 2 Pokemon on this team that like to set up Swords Dances on the switch, and he goes for a Rock Slide, which I knew he'd have, and I know he's got Hustle, so it has a chance to miss on top of its already low accuracy, but he does have the wide lens to help with that. I don't flinch, and I get off my Aerial Ace at +2, which doesn't kill. I don't have any priority on this thing. I've really got to start running Quick Attack. I should probably run Quick Attack over Roost, because I rarely enter a situation where I need that Roost. So I am now forced to switch, and I really thought Chris would go for an Iron Head or an Exeter just for the, the accuracy. It's a lot higher than it would be with Rock Slide, and he doesn't need to go for it, so the plays are all over the place. He now goes into Leviathan. Fua has taken a beating. I am now going to let her go down. Just going to get a bit of chip damage off on Leviathan with a return, as he finishes me off with an adaptability boosted Dragon Pulse. If you guys don't know, the hidden ability for Dragalge was released in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. You can find it in Omega Ruby by checking out where you can fish and stuff like that, and using the Dex Nav to find the hidden ability in the wild, which is pretty awesome. So he's now forced to go into Skullfish. He knew I'd go for my my Ice type move, which in this case is Hyper Voice, which is turned to Ice type because of Refrigerate, and 2 of these is going to be enough to finish off Skullfish. Now what Chris doesn't know is I am running a Choice Scarf. You guys might think it's a very slow Pokemon. Why would you run a Choice Scarf? Timid Choice Scarf reaches a speed that outspeeds Jolly Timid max speed 113 speed. So it's actually quite fast. I go into Celery here to take the Giga Drain as a switch fodder. I didn't want to go straight into Vanilla in case he predicted that switch, because he knows my Vanilla does run Sap Sipper. I'm assuming he knows at least. And I just realized that I think only 2 Pokemon in this party weren't shiny. I have a very suspicious looking team now. Oh dear. Might have to unshinify them with power saves at some point. So I go for the Sludge Bomb, not predicting him to switch, but he does, which is unfortunate. Vanilla is actually very bulky though, so I'm not too worried here. I go for an Ice Beam. I don't actually carry any Dragon type stab. The idea with Vanilla is to have as much coverage as possible. Sludge Wave for the Fairies, Flamethrower for the Steel and Grass types, Ice Beam for the Dragon types, and anything else that is weak to Ice, and Thunderbolt for anything that's weak to Electric. It might sound weird, but it works really well. Has wide coverage. So Leviathan goes down to that second Ice Beam. Now Chris is forced to bring in his special wall, fully aware that I can both poison this thing and hit it with super effective damage. That is the reason I run Sludge Bomb over Sludge Wave. That 30% chance to poison is what helps make up for my lack of stab. Goes for the Moonblast, unfortunately gets a critical hit, doesn't matter, it was going to be a 2-hit from that range anyway, and a bit of Lefty's recovery on Bouquet's side, because, yeah, it's holding an apple, I guess. Go for another Sludge Bomb, and I get the poison, which is gonna come in to play a lot. So, I just wanted to get this thing into a range where either Alice could kill it or Sherbet could kill it, and I wanted it to be Sherbet, because even though this thing is a special wall, if I brought in Alice to kill this thing, he'd then bring in Ramen, and at that point I could not bring in Sherbet. I'd have to let Alice go down, and I didn't want my Mega to go down so soon. Even though my Mega doesn't do anything else for the rest of those battles. Spoilers! So I go into Sherbet. I think this is a good range where I can take out Bouquet, and I completely miscalc, and I either get a low roll or I just didn't get the max roll, and unfortunately, it doesn't die. Goes for Giga Drain. Uninvested with no stab actually doesn't do that much damage. If you guys don't know, Aurorus does have some very high natural HP. So I think it has the highest HP of all Rock-type Pokemon, which is pretty decent. So I go for another Hyper Voice after the pitiful recovery and the poison damage. It is going to be enough to finish off Bouquet. And from here, it just becomes a sweep. Because I know his Tangrowth can't take one of these. And I know Speed Freak, the Yamega, cannot take one of these. And it doesn't have Protect. I already know Yamega does not carry Protect. He carries the Fog, 2 Stab, and a Giga Drain for recovery and coverage. So that just goes right down to our Hyper Voice, and I am locked into that. At this point, I think it was around the time I outsped Florgus that he realized I was scarfed, and our Hyper Voice is just going to finish off the Ramen. Unfortunately, it goes down in one hit. Goodbye, Ramen! Nice seeing you! So yeah, guys, if you liked the video, remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, I'd love it if you could subscribe to my channel, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.